Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to work with the authentication system. So Django REST framework just provides this authentication system ready for us. We just need to make the changes. First of all, if we go when you do basically like set up the authentication system, you can create, in the settings you can define, for example, let's the REST framework. We can define the settings for the REST framework here, and we can define the default authentication classes, basically for all of the API views that we have. Even the fun, if we specify here, all of these views, they will have like that this default authentication class. So let's do that. Let's go here, default authentication underscore classes. Has to be like this way. So now here we set the authentication classes that we can use, that we're going to use. There are multiples. So if you from REST framework that authentication that you can just put basic authentication. This is the basic authentication. Save that. Yeah, it's okay. So now all the views that require this authentication, or basically like it will work with this type of authentication. That's what we're doing here. Oh, but I want you to see something. Oh, this is wrong here. So let's bring, we get the, now let's refresh this. As you can see right away, we haven't specified here, but as soon as we make this request, because as you can see here, we are not logged in the we're not logged in the website. So we go get streams one, it will ask us for a basic authentication here. Even if we go to the tags, you can see it applied the basic authentication for all of the views. So let's go get stream one, and then let's put authentication here. And we got the request, basically the get. Here, as you can see, we print the user. It says the user right here. If we don't specify, let's comment this to see something. And we can, if we, okay, we log out. Okay. API get strange one. Let's still get the user because let me check. Let me check with this. Yeah, let me delete these ones here. Let me do it on the tags right here. Basically, this is because this requires authentication. Okay, if we go to our console, you'll see there's like anonymous user. This is because every time we run the view, Django REST will try to authenticate the user with each class that you have specified here. We haven't specified yet, but if none of these are authenticated, it will set the request user as anonymous user. So even though we put the authenticate, we uncomment that one. Let's check. Oops. It says forbidding here because we need to authenticate the user. When we authenticate the user, it will give us the current user right there. Let's uncomment all of these ones. So here we can specify its permission, and then we add is authenticated. You can also there are multiple type of authentication. There is basic authentication, there is session authentication, and there is token authentication. And here, if we go to the top, let's import here. So from REST underscore framework dot authentication. Let's import. We can import token authentication and basic authentication. Now we can specify individually each class what type of authentication they will require. We put authentication underscore classes. And here we can put basic authentication, token authentication. Let's delete that one and then see if this works this way. Okay, so here, let's provide the user authentication right here. Okay, this one worked because let me check. Oh, we need to, it's the string that we need to work with. Check. Yeah, as you can see, even though we are passing the basic authentication and we have it in the default here, the basic authentication, when we specify here which type of authentication this, it will basically override and tell that, oh, this view requires this type of authentication. In this case, it's token. That's why it's not giving you the request. It says like unauthorized, even though you have the basic authentication here. So if we comment that, you see it says okay, and we get with the basic authentication we get the response. So this is pretty cool and very important, and that's how basically you can specify the type of authentication for each view or for each type of request that you wanted. But yeah, that's simple. Also, even for this is for the classes, but you can do the same thing for the function. We just open we just import the decorator classes. We just same thing. It's just the same thing. But yeah, let's just here just specify for all of the classes, sorry, for all the views, which authentication that will take for default. Yeah, that's it. So in the next video, we're going to see how we can work with the token authentication. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the video. Oh, something very important that I forgot to mention. So with the basic authentication, very important, this is just for testing purposes. It's not recommended. It's not recommended by Django Race Framework or anyone to deploy an app with this type of authentication only. You need to have another type of authentication. For example, like token. You can use the token, and also you need HTTPS. It's not recommended to just use this type of authentication. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that.